Hey everybody, it's Tony with Big T Bariatric, and I'm back at you with another reaction video. I'm uploading another one tonight because I thought it was funny earlier that hardly anybody watched my last video compared to the analytics of my other videos I've been putting out lately. And I actually got a few comments from people like, nope, I'm not even going to watch this. Virgie Tovar drives me crazy. I can't stand her voice, and on and on and on. So I thought that was funny that people weren't even going to watch it because they can't stand Virgie Tovar. So I'm putting out another reaction video today. So before I get started, please hit the subscribe button down below. Please like, please comment, please share. Please help me with the algorithm. I greatly appreciate it. And so today's video I'm going to react to is asking a question. Is husband enabling 590-pound woman's unhealthy habits? So we'll see what happens here. Let's get started right now.
At my last appointment a couple of months ago, I was at 602, and the goal Dr. Now gave me to lose was 60 pounds. So that means I'm supposed to be at 542 today.
Oof, 60 pounds. That's a lot to lose in a month. Like I've said, I've never lost that much in a single month, but I'm hoping that that's what's going to happen this next month now that I'm doing strict. So we'll see if it's possible. I'm doing a high protein, low carb diet, hardly any carbs at all, and I'm just eating twice a day, and it's well under 1,200 calories. And I found some ways to cut some things out of my diet. If you saw my what I'm eating in a day video, and somebody said that the cheese I put on my burger was like 100 calories, so I'm like, I don't need to have an extra 100 calories just for that cheese. So I cut the cheese out. I'm eating less of the turkey sticks. And so I'm really cutting a few things out that I don't need in my diet and trying to up the exercise at the same time. So I'm going to see if I can lose 50 pounds in a month. But yeah, she was 602, I think she said. And so she needs to be in the 540s in order for Dr. Now to be happy. We'll see.
And my hope is that I'm at least halfway there.
No.
That's more discouraging than I thought.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's rough. Yeah, that's super rough to only lose 12 pounds. She must have been cheating like crazy. And it's very difficult too when, you think you're doing good, but obviously you're not. And the scale is not going to lie that much. You're going to fluctuate with water weight some. That's not the excuse that people make it out to be like, oh, I should have lost 60 pounds. I'm carrying water. You're not going to carry 60 pounds worth of water weight. You're talking maybe 5 pounds, 10 pounds. So, that's just one of those things. He's wearing the same orange shirt that I am. We're twinsies.
It's a loss though, so I guess that's good. But I don't think Dr. Now will see it that way. But maybe if Chris lost some too, Dr. Now will see how hard we're working together.
All right, so they're doing the diet together. And for her to say, now he's going to see if, maybe he sees that if we're working so hard together, he'll also give me the surgery. He's not going to do that, lady. Like, you're failing. And if you're failing, then what's the reason behind that? As the title suggests, is your husband enabling you? So we're going to see, does that mean he's gaining weight and so he's enabling her and so she's not doing so well? I guess we'll see what the weigh-in says.
To do this.
306.
Yeah, they're messing up together. This is one of those situations, like we were saying it in the other video, like if you're with somebody who's had the same problem you have, then you're going to enable one another. You are very, very not likely going to encourage each other. That's just not going to happen because it's much easier to enable each other to continue eating what you were eating before. But the difficult thing is, even though he's a guy, he is much smaller than she is. And so she could have lost a lot more weight. So she was probably eating more than he was. But being a guy, his metabolism was faster and he has more muscle mass. So I don't know, maybe it evens out there. But neither one of them tried.
Whenever you guys are ready, you can head to room 5.
Thank you. I think that shows me and Christopher are both trying just as hard.
It doesn't show you're trying at all. You had a 60-pound goal. You lost 12. I lost more than that, and I was cheating. I admitted to cheating. Of course, I also said that I thought I was doing pretty good, and I didn't think I didn't understand at first, but when I really looked at what I was eating and how much I was eating last month, It makes sense. But still, a 14-pound weight loss is decent, but I could have lost 50. So it goes to show you were not trying hard, and neither was your husband.
So there is some positive to our progress. My big worry, obviously, is the Dr. Now is only going to see what we didn't do.
That's all he's going to see. Because Dr. Now is strict for a reason, a very specific reason. Again, my dietitian took it easier on me. And so the very first few months that I was in the office, like we went very, very slowly. And so she had me point out what I ate and she helped me make better substitutions. So you don't really have that room with Dr. Now. He expects you to lose 60 pounds in that first month, and it's for a good reason. Because if you cannot get that mental under control before surgery, you're going to be out of control after surgery, and your weight loss surgery is going to fail. It's not worth taking the risk to have surgery if you're going to fail, because you could actually kill yourself if you don't maintain your diet.
But I'm not going to lie and tell him I did my best. I know I could have done better.
Hello.
Being honest with yourself and holding yourself accountable for your failures is a good first step in taking accountability for yourself and your actions and trying to do better. So at first she was like, we were working very hard together, and now she's like, I'm going to be honest with him. I'm going to say I could have done better. You could be more honest with yourself too. I mean, it's good that you admitted that you could have done better, but you weren't working hard at all.
How y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
Because when you're that big, you could lose 10 to 12 pounds in a week. So it sounds like they were probably maintaining or maybe binging a little bit. And maybe that last week, they're like, oh crap, we have an appointment with Dr. Now. We need to do well for this week. And, they thought that doing really well was going to help them out, that maybe it'd show a bigger weight loss than it was. And to them, that's working really hard. But as it turns out, they weren't.
Good, I'm doing good. All right, so Carrie, you lost 12 pounds in 2 months, which is not much. So what changes do you think you actually made with your eating?
Yeah, we're about to see a lot of excuses, I'm sure. She might even blame him for the enabling, or exactly what the title says, for her unhealthy habits. And Dr. Now told her straight, it's like, that wasn't very much. Like, that's nothing. Like I said, you could easily lose that in a week.
I did adhere to the diet somewhat, but I didn't somewhat, so.
What does that mean? I adhered to it somewhat, but then I didn't somewhat. You didn't gain, so, that's a positive. So maybe you did have some caloric restriction, but you didn't as well. So you cheated. You tried, but you cheated. You tried, but you binged. And that's sort of the back and forth that a lot of overweight people have when they try to diet. It's like they do try, but they didn't try hard enough. They tried, but ended up binging because it was hard for them. And to go from eating so many thousands of calories a day to eating 1,200 calories in a day, going from eating sugar and crap to eating, high protein, low carb diet, it's very, very hard to make that transition.
That's
What do you mean?
because I didn't follow it 100% like I should have.
Then what is your objective coming in to see us?
To get help. But I know I acted more on convenience, I guess.
Acting on convenience, I can only imagine what that means. Just, there were still some foods there, some frozen foods that she was probably eating that had some sugar and crap in it that she shouldn't have been eating because it was convenient. Maybe it was lean pockets or something like that, because that's not always calories in, calories out. Because there's certain foods that you can eat, like with me and carbs, that it's going to prevent your body from losing weight. As soon as you get that sugar in your system, it stops all weight loss. And your body has to burn that sugar off before it'll go back to burning fat. So you're just pausing your weight loss every time you put any sugar in. And if you eat too much sugar, more than your body is burning off, it stores that extra sugar as energy or as fat. And so every time you eat sugar, it pauses your weight loss. And so that's what I've really been learning. It's like, I can't have my cheat meals like I did before. It's going to pause. And then I'm only going to lose 10, 12, 14 pounds, which is what I've been doing. And so maybe that's what she means is by convenience, but she might explain it. I had to pause there.
With my diet instead of adhering to it like I should have. and I knew
I
better.
understand that you knew what you're supposed to, but the bigger question is, what is your objective from coming down and see us?
That's the thing Doctor Now asks his patients a lot too. Like, why'd you come down here? Are you just wasting my time? Like, you're not even going to do the diet? You're not even going to try? Like, you're wasting my time and you're wasting your own time. And now they're going to have to wait an entire another month in order to get surgery. And that was one of the hardest things for me to deal with, because there were a few times when I went and got weighed. And it's like, I thought, okay, I'm going to meet my goal this month and I'm going to try harder. And then when I actually got there and I didn't, I lost very little weight. It's like, I wasted an entire month and now I have to wait another entire month. So what took me, I was supposed to do the program for 6 months. It ended up actually being 8 months because I didn't do it right.
What is your goal?
My goal is to lose weight.
Okay, if your goal is to lose weight, what are you willing to do to turn your life around and lose weight?
I'm willing to follow your diet, which I should have done in the first place.
It's easy to say now when you're in Dr. Now's office, right? I'm willing to do it. Well, you said that at the last appointment. Like every single person who goes in there for the first time, they're like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be your best patient. I'm going to get it out of the way. This is going to be great. Next time you see me, you're going to approve me. Like everybody starts out with that optimism. You think you're going to do it. You're going to jump right in, but you don't actually do it. So why are you back here after failing your very first month and now you're saying, I'm willing to do it? No, you're not willing to do it. You need some more help.
Well, but I'm not just going to take your word for it. If you value your life, you understand that your weight is your major health problem. And right now, I'm concerned about both of your willingness to change, because I see both of you having the same issue.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is when you're that big, you have very little time. You keep thinking I got plenty of time. You keep thinking, oh, I'm still fairly young. I got plenty of time to figure this out. But that's sort of why Dr. Now rushes it too, is because once you're at his office, you are almost on death's door. Like you don't got very much time left. Your health issues are starting to accumulate. And you're having all kinds of pain and problems and high blood pressure, and you might be pre-diabetic or diabetic already. You're at a higher risk for stroke and cancer and heart attacks. Like the list is a mile long of illnesses and diseases that obesity causes. And so they might not even make it to the next month. And that's what you don't even realize about being obese, is you are just terrified all the time. Like many of them say, like, I didn't even know if I was going to wake up tomorrow morning. I didn't even know, like, I woke up and I was shocked that I actually did wake up. Like, it's that scary.
And my concern is that you both are helping each other to overeat, because you both lost the exact same amount. So your eating habits are entangled in a toxic way.
Yeah, they are doing the same thing together. So whatever she was doing that failed, he was doing at the same time. I'm just going to check real quick if I'm still in the camera. I had to shift because my lower back is hurting me. All right, everything's good. Let's continue.
So this is a pathological situation that is going to shorten both of your life. And if you say you realize that, then what is the use of coming here and give me figure of speech and not doing anything about it?
Because that's the thing about both of them doing it together. Like, they should care about each other enough that they're not going to enable each other and allow that to continue. And that's why I often say that, Tammy meeting somebody in rehab, or meeting somebody in rehab at all, especially a weight loss clinic, is not going to help you continue to lose weight, because you're going to enable each other more than you're going to help each other. But in reality, if they really loved and cared about one another, they would be doing it, they would be strict, and they would help each other stay strict. But if you're trying to restrict somebody's calories, watch out. That's going to lead to some kind of problems within the relationship. So if one of them tries and the other one doesn't, that's going to lead to problems. They're going to end up fighting over that.
I understand.
You mean, what do you understand? What is your answer?
I mean, I can do better. I know I can do better.
Well, everybody can do better, but why you haven't done it better?
He's holding her accountable. Like, he's not letting her walk out of that room without explaining why they failed. Because it's not just her, it's both of them. They both failed. And so he needs to know, like, what kind of dynamic is going on within your relationship, that you're enabling each other. because you're not going to be successful unless you both get it under control. So it's not just one of you, it's both of you who failed. So you both have to work together to do this in order to be successful. It can't just be one of you doing it.
Is because your love of the food supersede your idea of being healthy?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the scary thing about a lot of it is that your love for food overwhelms your desire to live, overwhelms your desire to raise your kids, overwhelms everything. Like we've seen many of these videos, and what happens every single time, like that love and that addiction to food is greater than any other thing in your life, greater than your marriage, greater than your kids, greater than your will to live. Like it's greater than everything. And that's what it's so bad about addiction, is it kills you slowly, and you get to a point where it overwhelms every single part of your life.
So what can we do to change that? Do you want to change that?
Yes, sir.
So what solution we got for you? You have to tell me. What else we can give you to get you to lose weight?
Yeah, because he's like, I already gave you every tool. I gave you my diet. If you had followed that diet, you would have lost the 60 pounds that I told you to lose, but you didn't. What else can I do for you? What is going on here? How else can I help you? And so Dr. Now often gets to the point where he tells his patients, like, this is your last chance to show me what's going on. And if you don't figure it out, like, I'm done with you. I can't continue wasting my time and you wasting yours. You need to figure this out right now. You need to let me know what's going on so that I could truly help you. But what ends up happening is they're hiding the dynamic between them that's causing them to fail their diet.
Then tell me how we can help you to do that. What else we can do for you?
Maybe we could try some counseling.
You think counseling is going to help you?
Maybe.
Okay.
That's a good answer. Maybe you do need some counseling. If your food addiction is that strong that you just can't seem to beat it on your own, counseling may help. Maybe there's some underlying reasons why you can't lose weight. It's not always known. Like, I know for me what it is because my childhood was so traumatic and my life was so difficult. So I know why I continued gaining weight. Like, I really took a deep look into my life and just figured out what I needed to fix, and I'm fixing it. So even then, I haven't been perfect in this journey. So there were still some things I needed to learn. I needed to realize. So that's why I often tell people, if you're really willing to go down this journey, you need to get help. You need to do it more. You need to try to get more help other than deciding you can do it on your own, because you really can't. And there's going to be somebody in the comments who says, I've done it on my own. All right, fine. Kudos to you. But in reality, most people cannot do it on their own because they have so much that overwhelms them, such as trauma or abuse or neglect or any of those things that drove them to have that emotional connection with food.
I'm willing to try.
Okay, so maybe they can help you wake up. But I also want Chris to go with you so you both can work on the issues together.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll set up counseling for both of you to try and see if they can make progress with you too. Then I want to see both of you again in 2 months with the same goal.
Yeah, that's awesome that they should both do that, because they're both having the same issue. They both have that same connection to food. And so either one is enabling the other, which according to the title, they're suggesting that it's the husband enabling her. But either way, they're both overweight. They both have that emotional connection to food. He's not as big as she is, so her problem might be a little bigger. No pun intended.
All right, if y'all need anything, let me know.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, I'm going to try to skip ahead here because, you have to. All right, I guess they go counseling right here.
Not changing. So I'm going to try to be as upfront and as honest as possible.
So I'm glad you guys are here. So what brings you down? How'd you get in touch with Dr. Now?
My family wanted me to reach out to him to see about the gastric bypass surgery.
And that's one of the difficult things about people trying to lose weight is they don't often want to do it on their own. They're doing it because their family wanted them to do it. Their family encouraged them to do it. Their family said, maybe you need weight loss surgery, maybe you need counseling, maybe you need to get help. And so they sort of, under peer pressure, do it, but they don't do it willingly. And so that's why she's failing. Like, what really worked for me this last time is I really wanted to do it. Well, every other time it was my sister pressuring me into it, or it was my aunt telling me I need to do it. But I really didn't have it in me to do it myself. So again, as much as you need help and support from other people, you have to have the will to do it. You have to be driven to do it. You have to want to do it, or else you're going to fail. If you're doing it because everybody else in your family is telling you to do it, you're not going to be successful, because you're just doing it for them, and you don't really have the willpower to go against something that you really don't want to do.
Gastric.
So your family did, not you?
Well,
See, that pause right there tells me everything I needed to know. She did not want to go down this road. I mean, she probably wanted to. Like, there's part of her that realizes she had to do it, but she wasn't willing to break up with food yet. Like, that's a toxic relationship in her life that she knows is toxic. She knows is killing her, but she's not ready to break up yet. So she's going to have a difficult time going on this journey unless she gets to a point where she realizes she wants to do it.
I was a little reluctant at first, but
What makes you reluctant about the surgery?
well, my father died as a result of the surgery.
Wow. Okay.
So
Oh, that's understandable too, that you wouldn't want to do it because you lost somebody very close to you, your dad. I talked to somebody else who said that they lost a loved one as a result of the surgery. And I heard all kinds of bad stories when I was considering it like 10 years ago. Like, so many people were telling me, oh, I know so-and-so who did it, and they were malnutritious and they lost all their teeth, or so-and-so had all these health issues, or so-and-so died from it. And so when you hear all these negative stories, it's very, very hard to want to get the surgery that harms so many other people. But it helps more people than it harms. In reality, it's the number one most frequent surgery right now. So there's more weight loss surgeries now than any other type of surgery out there because there's more people doing it. So, back then it was still sort of new and the complication risks was higher, but now they sort of got it down to a T. They don't cut people open anymore. They do it laparoscopically, so it's much easier. There's much less risk than there ever used to be. So that's why I felt more comfortable doing it. I watched a video on YouTube of it being done. I saw all the statistics on it. I really, really researched it before I jumped in because I wanted to know, like, is it safer than it used to be? And the answer is yes.
I had some reluctance
So
there.
you're probably scared of the surgery.
A little.
Okay. But your family wants it for you?
Yeah.
Is he on board with this?
Mm-hmm.
Is he helpful or is he harmful in terms of you losing the weight to get ready for the surgery? What role does he play?
That's a good question. I mean, of course, according to the title, it seems like they're laying the blame on him, even though he's wearing the same orange shirt. So I don't know if they went on that same day for counseling. It's usually hard to get a same day appointment, but, hey, we both like some orange.
He's very supportive, sometimes too supportive.
Okay, what do you mean by too supportive?
I know Chris has a problem telling me no.
Okay, I'm looking at his face. What does she mean by you have a problem saying no?
I mean, just about like anything she wants. I mean, if she wants a greasy hamburger, then I'm not going to tell her no.
If you got to tell her no, though, you're trying to do this at the same time. But that's why that enabler-enablee relationship is so dangerous, especially within couples. Because you're not going to tell her no when you want the same thing. Like, you also want that greasy hamburger. So how are you going to tell her no when you want that same thing? You're going to say, yeah, it's very easy. So just like if my mom or somebody comes down and says, hey, let's order out, I'm going to want to order out. I want to eat that food. It's going to be very hard for me to say, no, I can't do it, even though I did it recently with the whole ice cream thing. Because I'm like driven now. I want to do it now. Whereas he really doesn't want to do it. She really doesn't want to do it. They're being peer pressured to do it. And so it's like, if she wants something, he's not going to say no. And at the same time, it's like she's so addicted to food, and he probably is as well, that if he did say no, or if she said no, like, the other one's going to throw a fit. Like, that's the whole dynamic here that really needs to change if they're going to be successful.
I mean, that's what she wants.
And if you keep telling her yes, what's going to happen?
She's not gonna lose weight. and she won't get the surgery.
And her life will get worse and worse.
And her health will get worse. And
Yep. So when you ask her for something, does she say yes too?
to an extent, I mean.
His demands are less food-based.
Okay.
I wonder what that means. But he weighs a lot less than her, so him, wanting less food, she eats way more than he does. So the problem is more lies with her. But they enable each other. Like I said, like if that's the kind of relationship that they have, that they probably built since they were younger. Like he might have been slimmer, but she had the weight problem. But the moment they met, the moment they got together, they sort of started eating the same way together. Like in one of the other videos, they were talking about how our entire relationship is built around food. Outside of food, we don't have a connection. We don't have anything else other than food. The only time we spend time together is when we go grocery shopping. So that's a very scary thing to have in a relationship, that there's nothing there but food. And so they're both going to have to get their act together.
Like, I'd really like to go to the movies, or I'd really like a new shirt, or I'd really like a new pair of shoes. His needs are not food driven.
None of those things were even remotely as unhealthy as giving you a cheeseburger.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, wanting a shirt, wanting to go to the movies, stuff like that. Like, those are things you should be doing together. So it sounds like that they're doing things together, but she might not want to do those things. So that's where he is like, I want to do these things, but you don't want to do those things because you're big. You don't want to get out of the house. You're lazy or whatever. So yeah, he's not as big. So food is not as big of a deal to him. But he probably gained most of his weight after being married or in a relationship with her.
I know that part of the reason he tells me yes is because if he tells me no and I make a change and I succeed at becoming a better person, I can do those things for myself and I won't need him.
Wait a minute now. Is she insinuating that he does enable her to keep her down? Like if you lose weight, that you're going to be more active and you're going to go out and do things on your own? And so that's why he's keeping you fat, by enabling you and giving you the things that you want? I hope that's not true, but I think that's what she just said. And if so, that is very dangerous. That's almost abusive. Like you are killing her to hold her down literally by her weight so that she can't go out and live a normal life. And that's also part of the dynamic too. Like if he really likes big girls, he's not going to want her to lose weight. So he's sort of a feeder. And by keeping her big and keeping her down, she can't get skinny and go and find somebody else. So that shows a lot of insecurity on his part.
Is that your fear, Chris?
I don't want to lose her. Like,
Do you know how dangerous that is?
He just admitted it. He admitted it. He doesn't want to lose her. He thinks her losing weight is going to lose her. He's not afraid of losing her by her gaining weight and getting bigger and dying of obesity-complicated diseases. This is disgusting. Every bit of respect that I had for this guy, if I had any to begin with, is now out the window. Like, you are killing your wife because you're afraid of losing her. Seriously? That is disgusting. That is evil. You should both be working on this diet together, and you should not be so insecure about losing her that way. You are keeping her fat for your own desire. That is horrible.
It means that she needs to be unwell. She needs to be disabled for you to have a role in her life.
Exactly. You are keeping her disabled for your own selfish desire because you're afraid of losing her. Again, that's a level of insecurity on his part that's dangerous. He's killing her. That is, I can't stand that sort of thing.
If you make it so that your usefulness is based on her decline, then that's really dangerous. But I think you guys can switch it. You need to learn to say no to her. But I also want you to be helping him out.
yeah, that's part of the dynamic too. Like, they need to work together on this. So this is what I'm talking about when I say it's important to see a therapist. Like, there's some layers to it that you don't realize might be there. And speaking to somebody about your issues will really bring that to the surface, and you can begin to work on them together. I mean, you might not even realize that you are purposely, like, I don't even know if he realized what he was doing. Like, he started crying once he realized what he was doing. Like, you may not even be realizing what you're doing by keeping somebody down, keeping somebody fat because you're afraid of losing them. Like, that's something you need to work on. You need to work on your own insecurity and your own fear of losing somebody. If you're keeping them fat because you think they're going to run off and find somebody else, well, you know, that's a difficult thing that you need to work through.
I want him to be asking you for stuff. I want you to feel useful, right? So I want to make that your homework. If this guy learns to say no, and you learn to accept that no and actually praise him for giving you that no, it'll make a huge difference.
I'm going to stop it right here. This video is probably long enough, but yeah, that just totally threw me for a loop. I did not expect that at all. Yeah, if you're trying to do this, you need to get a support system around you. You need to find some therapy. You need to work through and overcome so many more things than just your diet. And if you're trying to do this on your own without help and you're pressured into it, you're not going to be successful. So if you're trying to diet and you're trying to lose weight, I very much recommend that you take some time and write some things out. Write out what you're eating, write out your diet, write out your reason why you want to do this, and really reflect on your past and what you want your future to look like. And if you can do that, I think you'll be a lot more successful. And if you're in a relationship with someone and they're not supporting you, sit down with them and talk with them and figure out why. Because you cannot do this if you have someone who is an enabler and somebody who's trying to hold you down. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, please leave a comment, please subscribe. I appreciate you very much. God bless you all.